What's going on, everyone? It's Brandon with JACOJE Fine Jewelry, your personal jeweler. In this video, we're doing a review and talking about the box locks, barrel locks, safety locks, whatever name you want to call them. I'm going to start calling them a problem. I'm going to explain why in this video. With that being said, let's get started. Now, the idea of a safety lock is a great thing. It's very reassuring because you know that chain isn't going anywhere. It's not going to fall off. You have a very strong lock as well as that satisfying click every time you put it on. But the problem is, and the psychology between this whole process, let me explain it. You get a new chain, you love it, you wear it, but a little after time, you start to want to spruce that baby up. The best way to do that would be to add a pendant, and this is the whole point of this video. I've been getting a lot of emails, questions about this because it's a problem now. You go to buy a pendant, most pendants are not going to accommodate the total width of that chain. For example, we have a 6mm Miami Cuban. Yes, it is a 6mm chain, but at the widest point, it's actually a lot wider. You guys will see across the screen the widest point of this chain, and that is at the lock itself. Now, you don't want to go with a really small lock because that kind of defeats the purpose. The bigger, the more durable that lock is going to be. And again, a 5mm diamond cut Franco, you guys see a round barrel lock, and then it's a lot wider than the 5mm Franco chain itself. So you have to keep that in mind when buying a box or barrel lock. Now, if you're shopping around getting a new chain or really want a pendant, I would recommend sticking with something with a lobster clasp. Here is a 3.5mm diamond cut Franco on a large crucifix. The chain fits easily in that bail. The bail is large enough. That's how it's supposed to be. If you try to fit the Cuban link or the Franco, it's not gonna fit, no way. Now, you'd have to contact the jeweler, see about getting a bigger size, but the problem is most of you guys don't know the width of these locks that are coming in. So my biggest tip would be when you're buying something that has a box barrel lock or a clasp, other than a lobster clasp, I would recommend having the jeweler measure the width beforehand so you always have that for your reference when it comes time to buy a pendant. At least you know, hey, my Cuban, I need 13mm total width to clear it, and then the jeweler could work around that. It is still a pain because most likely they have to custom make the bail. And also the other thing which I don't really like is you're putting these ridiculously big bails to accommodate these chains on pieces. It's like almost the same size as the pendant alone, so it kind of looks goofy in my opinion. That's another thing you have to take into consideration when pairing it and adding a bigger bail. It's a lot of weight, and then also size as well. It increases the total length, which is good, but some of you guys are very particular and don't like the fact that the bail is almost bigger than the pendant itself. My two biggest takes for this problem is, number one, plan your purchase, and I've said that since day one. Kind of have an angle of where you're going, what you want to add to it, and then work around that. Again, having the total width beforehand before you buy a pendant and really research it and try to get it to accommodate is a great thing just to have. As well as, for me, when you add the barrel lock, you're really making a statement as, I'm gonna have this chain forever. I like to just keep it as a solo chain. Here's a few looks if you just wear a chain just by itself and then drop a Franco rope, something else with the pendant, and then you could two chain it. Yes, it is a little more expensive. You probably already invested a lot making that lock as well as a heavy chain, but this is just something to work towards the future, to eventually add the Franco rope or something else like that with the pendant, with your nice, sturdy, durable lock chain, as you would call it, I guess. But those are two different options. The main thing, though, is just know going into it, most of these bails on these pendants you're gonna try to buy aren't gonna accommodate that kind of width. It's a lot of width. As far as how jewelry pendants are made and the market, you go into a jewelry store, they're not really ready to have a bail to accommodate that size. I'm just saying from experience, I run into a lot of people order like a standard line, hey, I need this to fit my 5mm, 6mm Cuban link, and that's like a red flag. It's a totally different project than if I was just to send it with a standard bail that could fit up to a 5mm rope chain. Two different things. So that is my advice to you guys. As always, keep the questions coming. It doesn't sound like a big deal. Maybe some people already know that, but for me, I like to break down and get into details to inform you guys and to just kind of give my 2 cents. That's it for today's video, and we will see you on our next jewelry video.